Welcome back to the Bendin Wrenches YouTube channel. Well guys, another How Tuesday going on today. Got a little project in store. Our buddy Andy dropped off his plow truck here. We're having to do a couple things to her. We'll go through that in just a hot second. But if you've been tagging along for the latest journey, I did tell you that we are going to be starting another LS swap project. Our buddy Bill got a hold of us. Got himself a K1500. He bought brand new back in 1997. A little covered in snow, guys. Now understand, we only got, well, a good 6-7 inches on top of what we had before. So, but here she is in all her glory. So that is a Michigan truck. She's been here her whole life. So she does have a little bit of the old cancer on the bottom there and a couple whiskey dents. It's not the nicest looking truck, but he loves this truck. And it's got good bones. He's gonna have all this stuff redone. We might even give him some new wheels, you never know. Got fresh tires on it though. We did throw them on a little while back for him. So the biggest thing is, guys, with this gem here is he's just getting bored with it. It does run, it's got a Vortec 350. Man, I got tread through all this white crap. But let's show you here. Look at all the snow. There we go. And it's only been here a couple days. But she's got one of these things in it, guys. That's right, she is a 5-speed manual, the good old NV 3500. We're super familiar with those, you know, LTD and all, you know. But it is a full extended cab, factory 5-speed truck, 4-wheel drive. How many of those do you see with a 350? So it's gonna be fun though. She's gonna have a 5.3. We got we just picked that back up from our buddy Larry at the machine shop. We got a fresh short block put together for him with the old sloppy stage 2 Elgin, the 20 over 5.3, brand new ski, ready to go in the old girl. But let's show you what we got in store for you today. What do you say, folks? I think we had a little heat loss going on here. The old 2 foot of cellulose ain't keeping her in, but this is what we got. We got ourselves a 2005 2500 HD, and by all means, this is an extended cab long box. This thing is just ginormous, a little for a plow truck, but when you're doing parking lots and stuff like that, it works out great, I guess. That's what they say. You got more weight, you got more stability, all that fancy stuff, and it's not that bad. There's a couple spots here, but for being a plow truck, she's in decent shape. So we get to put a radiator in this thing. She started leaking. They're pretty common for cracking in the front. He diagnosed it, so we're just going off his word, but I'll see if I can find it. Most time, right in the front is where they split. Here's the new radiator. I did go ahead and unbox it. Premium Amazonian, of course, you know, because that's what plow truck guys buy. But normally either right here, where this is your, let me stand it up here for you guys. This is your engine oil cooler on this side. Now we did look already, and somebody's done us the favor of deleting that on this truck. Your choice, right? I mean, a lot of them I've deleted, and some you put them back on. It just depends. I mean, if you're a fan of it, cool. If not, whatever. Not here to debate that. But this truck's been deleted, so it saves us some time there. But I will show you, it's kind of the same as the tranny cooler lines, but on the other side of the radiator in the front, they're also common for cracking down the front here. Now with that webbing, I don't know why, but that is a common spot. And I did notice, I don't know if he meant to do this or not, but he ordered us one without a tranny cooler. So I did give him a call. So what we're gonna do, and I'm not saying this is right, guys, but it does work. So these trucks already have a huge auxiliary cooler, and this truck just had a trans put in it. So we're gonna just bypass the one in the radiator and just soulfully use the one in the front. Let me see if I can show you real fast. Let me grab a light. All right, so right there in the front is a large factory transmission cooler. So we're just gonna go ahead and utilize that. And you know, honestly, then you're not having the transmission fluid get heated up by the coolant. Pros and cons to that, but we're not here to debate that either. So let's go ahead and get tearing into this gem. All right, so basically where I like to start off at when we're doing these radiators is get the air box and everything out of your way. Is it completely necessary? Well, this portion of it is, because you got to get the fan shroud out. But these just kind of snap in, and it just frees up more real estate for down there, where your lower transmission cooler line is, and then the lower radiator hose here. So let's start by pulling some of this stuff loose. You get your trusty 8mm out. And that engine cover will lift up out of the way. And then also your hose clamp, you might as well hit that while you're there. And we got our mass airflow connector, and man, these things suck. They never made them easy. And they do make pliers for it. I bought them. You guys tell me if you've used them before. They're kind of a, I don't know, they're kind of a pain in the ass to use. They kind of hook the clip and then pinch it, and I'll show you here in a sec. But there we go, that's out of the way. So, and then we have this hose right here. So this runs up and over to our reservoir. It's kind of like your air bleed for the top of the radiator. Get your old pliers out. And get this guy out of your way. And then, now this thing's been leaking for a little while. We shouldn't lose a ton of coolant. But it never fails. These are always fun to, when they've been on there since, you know, 2005. There we go. Give that the old twist. All right, so what do we got here? We have the air box pulled loose. And this guy here, you'll see it'll kind of just snap out of the way. There we go, just like that. So, now, just like that, your whole air box is out of the way. So that frees up a ton of room. All right, now you can see how much room that gave us on this side here. Again, simply to get to the transmission cooler lines that the new radiator don't have, okay? Well, yours should. But like I said, this is what we're opting for on this particular deal here. I think it's more because he doesn't want to return it, but it's gonna be okay. So we'll get them popped out of the way. We do have our steam port line that runs over to our throttle body. And then we have our squeeze clamp down at the bottom, and that side's done. Push pin there, and then on the other side as well, and we'll get the upper fan shroud out of the way here real quick. All right, so we're gonna start tacking our fan shroud. We have a 10mm here and here, and then you also have your upper hose that kind of just shoves in there. You have a little Christmas tree. That'll just set back out of the way. I'm gonna get you guys aerial so you can see what I'm doing here, and then we'll get that shroud pulled. All right, pliers, get your upper hose out of the way. All right, I like to just kind of tuck that back out of the way because we're not gonna mess with that until we're done. Steam port line, set that off to the side, and then we're gonna grab our little, we got our little panel popper tool. Somebody did us a favor, we're missing one. Well, we're missing two, guys, so somebody did us a real good favor here. So you can pretty much do this whole job with a 10, an 8, and a 13, and a pair of pliers. So you don't need a ton of crap. You know, yeah, we use electric tools because I'm lazy, but definitely makes the time go by. Don't mind me if I sound stuffed up, you know, it seems like everybody in my family's been freaking sick the past couple weeks. Shroud out of the way. So, let me show you in here. So there's also, for the lower shroud, it hooks in these little, kind of like, we're gonna say it like a, well, you can see like a J clip almost. It's kind of molded into the radiator. You do that on both sides. It lifts up out of the way. Now, you don't have to pull this out of there. That guy can sit right there, or unless you elect to. So the one thing I told you earlier, this one does not have an engine oil cooler. Yours probably will. If it does, same connectors as the transmission clips. They're just for the oil cooler ones on the driver's side. And then our transmission ones, obviously right here. We're gonna pop those real fast. All right, so what I like to do, take my pick. You want to save this. A lot of guys I see don't put this plastic retainer on, but little do you know, this little dude here helps hold that clip in. Now, is the clip going to blow out? Most likely not, but it could. So you see I started to get it popped out. Kind of just walk it around. Now, they do make a tool, guys, that you can insert in there and twist, and it'll pop that loose. In our case, I've never purchased it. I never felt it was necessary, but they do make it. So as simple as that, we do that. And check this out, she's out. Super simple for the assembly line, guys. And for us, it's not bad either, but still you're dealing with a lot of pressure on a clip, you know, a piece of wire. All right, so we do have a hose that's up here. Again, we talked about that with the steam port. Go ahead and get this dude out of your way. Now we'll probably start losing a little coolant here if there's anything in it. So, nope, nope, there ain't nothing in there, guys. All right, so we're down to the tranny line. We already popped the clip out to save you that. And then it's time for this lower hose. Now that's the real test if there's any sort of antifreeze in this gem. These can be kind of a bear, and you'll see why it's easier to pull the, let's get the other tranny line out. You'll see why it's easier to pull the air box and everything out of the way. All right, work your clamp back. Let tranny fluid all pour in your antifreeze bucket because that's what you want. And then give her a pull. There we go. All right, so we are down to 2 bolts. That's how easy this stuff is. Now, granted, like I said, guys, it was simpler for us because we didn't have the engine oil cooler and the, you know, other than that, these aren't bad. So you guys can do this stuff. It's just nuts and bolts. Just nuts and bolts. But we have a 13 here, and we have a 13 there, and you're about to watch this radiator come out live in about 20 seconds. All right, those out. We do have to transfer these rubber grommets, but we'll deal with that in just a second. So, tip her forward. Expect a mess. And she's out. And you try not to make a mess, of course. All right, I already spotted where it was leaking at. I didn't pressure test either. Like I said, he self-diagnosed it. But just like we talked about earlier, I don't know what it is about these radiator tanks cracking, but they always crack in the same darn spot. Check this out. So, we are right here. Let me see here. Look at the wrong side. There it is. Can you see it? You can see the moisture line. It never fails. It never fails. I don't know why. Maybe it's because that cooler's there and there's just thermal expansion between metal and plastic, and hell if I know, guys. But that's the crack spot. So like we were talking earlier, we do have to transfer these rubber grommets and the little pedestal bushings that sits on, and them actually clip on, believe it or not. So they do stay on the radiator when you pull them out. See the little clip there? So when you push it on, you hear a little, you know you got her. So let's get transferring. All right, let's give them guys a little pull. They kind of snap on there like we were talking. This one here, the little center bushing kind of popped out, but it'll be all right. It's just an insulator. So if it falls off, just make sure you put it back on before it goes in. And then also, these dudes, and they go a certain way too, so make sure you install them back again where this chamfer goes against the fire or the core support. The reason being is because you got a washer on this side, so if you put it the other way, it could just push the insert out into the metal and not insulate nothing. So same deal, new radiator, put your rubber in there.
That's what she said.
You know, gotta stay safe, guys. And this guy just pops back in the hole. All right, guys, repeat the process. We got that set in. Get your 13s back out. Go ahead and buzz them back in. All right, this next part is disclaimer. Now, keep in mind, this is what my buddy Andy wanted to do. This is what we got. This is why we're doing it. He got it off Amazon. It's a pain in the ass to return it. It's a plow truck. We're getting snow tomorrow. However you want to look at it under the sun. Is this a proper fix? 100% it'll work just fine. We're using transmission oil cooler line. All we are is doing is we're getting rid of the radiator transmission cooler. If yours has it, awesome. Use it. It's there. That's what it's there for. In our case, we do have a large cooler in the front of the truck, like we showed you, and this will be just fine. Maybe better. You never know. Talk to your transmission guy. But I'll show you what I did, and you'll see it's gonna be okay. So, yes, it looks like we looped the lines, but remember, they do go up front to the auxiliary cooler. So, you can see the little bump. If you remember where the line kind of right into the transmission cooler connector, we got it past that. There's a clamp there. Clamp in the front. We are safe, and we use fuel injection hose clamps. Fuel injection hose clamps are not the worm style. They do wrap around like a band, and they don't cut into the hose. That's key. Okay, so that part is done. We got the radiator set back in. Now we can start repeating our steps. We're gonna go ahead and put the lower hose back on, get our fan shroud, everything set in, and I did go ahead and pull it out of the way. It will gladly clear and easily clear that fan. It'll just right out. You know what I'm saying? So, let me get that stuff set back in. We'll start gluing her back together for you guys. All right, I wanted to show you something real fast before we get into it since we're not doing it in here. So make sure you go ahead and put your clips back on. And they pop in, and then your line will just kind of snap back in. Works slick. All right, so go ahead and grab your air box. We're gonna get that set back in. Same deal, drop her in the hole. Get your air intake, make sure you get that on good. Them things are kind of a pain in the butt to put on. You'll know, it'll kind of just, there we go, squish right on there. And then your air box portion will snap in to the little rubber grommets. All right, you got your air box in. Don't forget to plug your mass airflow back in, and then we have this upper hose. This can be overlooked easily. Don't do that. Don't forget your engine cover. Well, guys, Don't forget to put coolant in it. You know, of course, that's the last step. We got her all back together. See, anybody can do this stuff. This is gravy train. Remember, it's only nuts and bolts. A little more sophisticated tools help, but like I said, an 8mm, a 10mm, and a 13. Actually, do we even need a 10? I don't think so. Oh yeah, for the fan shroud. So 8, 10, 13, and a pair of pliers, and you can change your own radiator. All right, moment of truth. Let's see if she starts. It should. I don't see why not, but you never know because it's sat in the garage for a day and the battery might die or something like that. But, all right, she starts. Well, we only got 280 on this old girl. I think that's common for them with the 280, 300, you know. So the biggest thing is make sure you let it run and let the thermostat open. It'll draw the coolant in, so it may take a few moments. I had somebody ask about it on the Jeep video on why they drove to the store and lost coolant. If you're watching, remember guys, let the thermostat open, let it back it out, let it run for a little while, let the coolant circulate, get the temp, thermostat will open, coolant will go down. Eventually it'll level out like it's supposed to. But on that note, guys, you can do it too. Make sure you like, subscribe, share all that good stuff. Thanks for tuning in to another How Tuesday. The LS swapped K1500 we start next week. You guys will see it in here. You might see it on How Tuesday videos. You don't know. Just start sprinkling that bad boy in here soon. We're waiting on, I think the flywheels are waiting for clutch kit. Yes, clutch kit and the throw-up bearing. We had to order one of those online. But the rest of the stuff is here and ready to go. We'll see you on the next one.